Hello and welcome. My name is Janet Testes. I'm a holistic nutritionist and transformational coach. And today I'm interviewing the beautiful Megan, who is a certified personal trainer and health coach from Oxygen Fitness Coaching. And we just want to have a discussion today, I guess, about the Juice Plus products and the impact that the products in the program have had personally with Megan, as well as, some
amazing impact.
Yeah, amazing impact. Some of her personal story, as well as, some of the stories from her clients that have had from these beautiful products. So first of all, Megan, I know a lot of people might already know you, but can you share a little bit about yourself and I guess even how you got into training and PT? And I also forgot to mention that she's also a beautiful mama of two, one being a special needs little boy that has Down syndrome, and life has been busy for you. So
yeah, it's funny that you say that because I always introduce myself as like, hey, I'm a mom, I'm a special needs mom, I have a kid with Down syndrome. Like that's very much my identity, and I love that. But yeah, I love what I do, and I have not always done this. I was a teacher before kind of transitioning, and I've always been really active. I was a competitive gymnast when I was younger and have loved sports and all of that. I started working in a gym when I was 17, teaching fitness classes, and that was like my side hustle, like my hobby. I'll do this, and then I had my career teaching, and that took me overseas. And then 5 years ago, I had my first son, Samuel, who is diagnosed with Down syndrome and Hirschsprung disease, which is a disease in the gut. And it changed everything, completely changed my life. At the time, he was quite sick. We had to go through a lot of medical things because of the Hirschsprung disease. And I left my job. I had to stop teaching. We ended up coming back to the US to try to deal with that. And after kind of finding our footing again, after that, I realized I didn't want to go back to teaching full time because I wanted to be with him and be able to support him. So I had this opportunity to kind of find a new path and do what I wanted. And so I decided to jump in to fitness and pursue personal training and health coaching, which I had always loved. And so it's been amazing. It's been, I think, a really unique opportunity to work with people in something that I really love. Yeah.
Awesome. And what was life like for you, I guess, as a entrepreneur, so then go into then also becoming an entrepreneur and a businesswoman and being a mum? What was life like for you, I guess, before you came across these products?
It was pretty crazy. I'll tell you what, like any mom who has young kids, especially young kids with special needs, like things are just crazy. It's a wild ride. So trying to transition into a new career and all of that, as well as learning how to care for and support my child with Down syndrome. And then we had another child like right after that, 2 years later. It was crazy. It was really crazy. And, it was a lot of trial and error. And in the midst of all that, what was really funny is, not funny, ironic, I guess, is that while I was learning how to help and support other people in these areas, and while it was something that I was really passionate about, like on the other side was me, like in reality, me, who was eating fast food all the time and was eating sugar to kind of deal with my stress and caffeine. And, I don't want to say living a double standard, but just not able to take care of myself the way that I knew that I should. And that was kind of a product of just being so busy and being under so much, but I was very much uncomfortable with that. I was Number one, because I knew I was not serving my body the way that I needed to, and I was not showing up as the best version of myself, but I was tired. I felt terrible. I was struggling with depression and anxiety and just all these things that we know having more nourishment in our bodies can actually help with. And I just couldn't, on my own, I couldn't rise up, out of that.
Yeah, and I think as well as being a health practitioner, even people who are health practitioners, and I can relate to this as well, there's times when, like life is hard and there's things, we all know what we should be doing, and there's a gap between what we should be doing and what we are actually doing. And that doesn't just, everyone is in that boat, I feel.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah.
For a number of different reasons, from being stressed and busy, but also to the quality of the food that is available to us, to the way the food is grown in the soils. Like food now, even if we are eating enough fruit and veggies, is grown in soil that is mineral deficient. So there's this whole combination of deficiency happening, from time deficiency to not actually the food being good quality and then not actually getting in enough. So yeah, I can totally relate, and I'm sure people watching this can definitely relate as well, especially if mums are watching this and parents are watching this. So once you came across the whole food products, like once you came across the Juice Plus products, you started on them. What sort of changes did you start to see in yourself and in your kids? I'd love to know.
Yeah, well, like it just, when I learned about them, when you and I connected, it just like, it made so much sense to me. Just like you were saying, like even on the days when I did eat what I would say, well, like I was always eating like the same good things. I would have some berries, and like I'd feel really good if I had like a smoothie with something in it. But the rest of my day might just look like crap. And so it just made so much sense to me to give myself the variety of all of these nutrients that I wanted to feel better. And we didn't mention this, but Samuel started taking the chewable products at that time as well, because when we did the Healthy Starts program, I was able to order mine, which really I came into this just very selfishly for me, because I wanted to feel better, but because that was available, I thought, okay, well let's just try this with Samuel, because he he had a lot of food sensory issues, I think is the best thing. He just had a very limited diet because he was not willing to try anything else, and was dealing with developmental delays and speech delays. And I just didn't know like how many of those could possibly be affected by what he was eating. So the first thing that happened when we introduced these into our life was, for me, I just kind of pivoted my life, like started drinking more water, which was a huge problem for me, and just started having a little bit more energy and like silly things, but like my skin was better, and I was like, okay, yeah, I love this. And then he took really quickly to the products, which was surprising because of his issues with just rejecting things that were new. He was like, okay, this is awesome, and was really excited to take that. And so it's been a year now, right? It's been a year, and the changes that we've seen are just unbelievable. Like within the first few months of Samuel starting on the products, he was talking. And at that time, before, we had completely, I don't want to say like given up, but we had just started to make plans for the fact that his speech was like unintelligible. He had just really low muscle tone in his mouth and was trying to talk, but was not speaking in a way that any of us could understand. So instead of just using sign language, we got him a speech device, and we were like going full steam into using that. And within a few months, he was talking, and like people were understanding things that he was saying for the first time. And it started with, single words and a couple words at a time. to where when it was time to go back to school, it was probably 4 or 5 months using the products. His speech therapist, when she saw him, she was like, no, we're not using this device anymore. Like he is talking, and yeah, his primary mode of communication on his IEP was speech. And like every single time that I've talked with her in the last year, she's like, this is amazing. Like, I can't believe what's happening and how far he's coming. And, you know, we've done so much work to support him in his speech. And I think that all the therapies and all the time and all the sign language and all that stuff that we did, combined with giving his body the nourishment that it needed for his brain and his cells to just like make those connections that needed to happen. I think it just happened. And now, you know, fast forward a year, he is speaking in full, like complex sentences, and just able to function in his classroom and at home just solely on talking to us. And like our goals now are, okay, let's get him talking in paragraphs. And so it's been truly incredible where he started and where he is now a year later. Yeah.
And it's amazing what happens when you can give the body what it needs to get back into balance. You know, the theory that, not theory, but philosophy that I really love, and it's actually chiropractic philosophy. It's like the body is self-healing and being able to heal itself if it's given what it needs and gets back into balance. And that really applies to this, is going and giving the body what it needs, and I guess bridging that gap with fruits and vegetables that are grown in good soils and that type of thing. The other thing that came to mind when you were just talking was the fact that you were in yourself were actually feeling better as a mum. And so there would have also been this element of you showing up as a better version of yourself to then be able to be fully present and be more there for him, for Samuel. That in itself would have also had an impact. And I think that's something that gets missed with mums, let alone special needs mums, of filling up your cup first so that you can then come and be your best version. Because women in general, we get conditioned to do it, but mums, it's then next level to be, I'm going to completely abandon all my needs and looking after myself. And, you know, I've got a really good friend of mine who's very dear and near to me, and she's in that exact situation with a son who is severely disabled, and things are getting a lot worse, and it breaks my heart, because I'm like, I just want her to look after herself. And I see it a lot, and so
it makes sense. Like, it makes sense in your mind as a mom that you would almost in a way like sacrifice yourself to take care of your kids. And there are seasons, and that's what's been so amazing about these products for me, because like even as I over the last year have, you know, kind of pivoted my life to be healthier, you know, this was kind of the first step, taking these and doing that. There are still days where like I fall completely short because we have doctor's visits or therapy visits, or, you know, life just happens or whatever. So to be able to know that I've got this to fall back on, and kind of as like, you know, it's covering my basis and making sure that I have all of that. Because there are just bad days, and this is like my insurance.
Totally. It's my insurance too. I get it. And so the other thing that you were sharing with me before is about the shakes. You were saying you got really into the shakes, and started making smoothies with you, and you were
so one of the things that is like key, every mom understands this, is time. It's just time. And so I just needed something that would always be available and quick on those days where things fell apart, so I had a good choice. And so we started making smoothies. We got the complete shakes and started making smoothies together, and it became like our therapy time. So Samuel was very much involved in this with me, and my husband is here right now, so it becomes walking over. I'm sorry about that. He was very much involved in this process with us. And so I brought the blender off the counter and down onto the floor. And I said, okay, like open the cat milk. He was like, you know, just teaching him skills. But he was there, you know, he's there watching me and interacting with all these foods that he otherwise would be like, nope, like grabbing handfuls of spinach and blueberries and the shakes. And so now, like every day, he's like, make smoothie, mommy, make smoothie. And he's starting to eat these. And it's been an awesome piece for us to have that extra way that I can kind of like sneak some veggies in for him and expose him to new things. And my younger son as well, who's 3 now, he absolutely loves them. He loves having his chocolate milk, which is the chocolate shake. And it's just been a cool way that we can all kind of be in the kitchen and doing something that doesn't take a ton of time, but I feel like really makes a big impact on them and their health and my health too.
Yeah, awesome. And you know, like the shakes, if you're interested, we can send you info. But the you know, they're whole food. This is whole food products, so you're getting a lot of whole food, different varieties of foods in those as well. It's not just a protein powder that's been highly processed and has got a lot of synthetic things in them, which a lot of them do. This is something that, you know, you can really get into your kids and yourself, and it's an easy, quick, easy thing, which is what I love about it. So lastly, what I would love to know is there, in terms of any clients that you've had that are also on the products, is, you know, how have their experience has been, or, you know, what have you found with that as well?
Yeah, so I have not really encountered anybody of the families whose kids have tried these chewables and have been like, nope, because they really are just good. They really are good. And I have some moms who have used them to kind of replace fruit snacks, right? Which we know are just full of processed sugars and nothing really good. And they've sort of supplemented this out as a snack for their kids. And, you know, their kids are totally fine with it. And they feel awesome knowing that they're giving their kids, you know, all of this good whole food nutrition versus just the sugar and whatever. So that, and I also, you know, a lot of the busy moms have latched on to the shakes and use that as either a regular breakfast where they just were not eating anything before, because unfortunately it's just all too common that mom grabs a cup of coffee and takes care of everybody else getting into the day, and the next thing they know, it's 11 or 12 o'clock and they haven't had actually anything that's nourishing their body and eating. So yeah, a lot of moms using the shakes and having a smoothie, something in the morning that's just going to start their day really well, and you know, reporting fewer cravings throughout the day because they're not like trying to run on fumes with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just, you know, overall, I think similar stories to mine. I'm really excited going forward, trying to get these products into more families who have kids with special needs, just to see, you know, what can happen.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
100%. And one thing I just want to also share for those of you watching that might not know, when you order the Juice Plus products, so the premium or the fruit and veg capsules, this is the cool thing about it, is that you can actually sponsor your own child or someone else's child between the ages of 14 up to 4 years as part of a big study called the Children's Health Study, and they will get their products for free. So that's basically what Megan did. She ordered her own capsules for, you know, premium capsules for herself, and then went, okay, I can get this for my son. And that's the beauty of it, is that when we're talking about, you know, filling up your own cup, is that you can put your own oxygen mask on first, and you can then also nourish your kids, because how many times do mums go, oh, I'll put that money towards my children, and then they actually miss out. So this is the thing I really love about it, is nourishing families. So is there anything else you want to add to that, Megan?
Yeah, I did just think of something else too. And I hadn't thought about this until right now, but when you were talking about, like, you know, taking care of yourself, one of the things that I was really struggling with before this was just depression and anxiety. And in the past, I have been medicated for that. And it's not anything that I feel wrongly about. But I was at a point in my life where I was like, man, maybe I should go and talk to somebody. And I kind of like tabled that for a minute. And I thought, okay, well, same thing like with Samuel, like, let me just see, let me just see what might happen with this. And I haven't had to do that. Like, I haven't had to go back on that. And I think a lot of it too is like what we were talking about, just having what I need and making sure that my body, my brain has everything that it needs to be able to run well and do that. So that was a huge game changer for me, because just in general, I just feel better. I feel better as a mom. And so I want to share that, because if you are somebody who is in that place and dealing with that, like, absolutely talk to your doctor about that if that's something that you need. But this could be something that helps support you like it did me. So
yeah, totally. And I think also pointing out that this is also in conjunction with little healthy upgrades that you can make through the program that you provide, making healthy changes. But this is just bridging the gap as well, which is the first step to then going, I feel like I've got enough in me to actually start to make the changes that I need as I start to feel better. So
yes, absolutely.
Yeah, thank you for sharing beautiful story. And I love hearing stories like this, because it's really about nourishing the world. And I think that's, it's a really awesome way to do it. So thank you for sharing your story. And if anyone has questions, please just get back in touch and get your own questions answered. All right, see you soon.
Great.